Welcome to the Merlin Crypto Market Update located on the X app. I'm Abs, the host and senior engagement officer at Merlin, and today's episode features a replay from our Merlin X Spaces. Every other Tuesday at 8:30 p.m., you can catch us live on the X app at Get Merlin Crypto. We dive into captivating discussions about cryptocurrency and blockchain technology with our engaged audience, special guests, and the founders of Merlin. Please note, these spaces can sometimes experience technical hiccups and end suddenly. It's all part of the experience. Thanks for tuning into the Crypto Market Update, proudly brought to you by Merlin, the smartest way to track your crypto.
Oh, it's a happy Taco Tuesday. The room's getting packed already with the one and only Abs from the Good Morning Crypto, Jay from Spend the Bits. Here we go.
Hello, hello.
What's going on?
Good, good. How about yourself?
If your fist is not pumping in the air right now, I don't know if you know the difference between right or wrong. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to let this room fill up for another minute here. I'm going to put these catchy tunes up. Thanks for joining us. Just keeps getting better. Wow. What a hot jam. Happy Taco Tuesday, everybody. I hope it's a beautiful day or night in your corner of the world right now. Welcome to this special X Space. My name is Ray Fuentes, and I'm thrilled to be moderating this exclusive session powered by Merlin, the go-to application for tracking all of your crypto investments from one easy, intuitive application. Today, we've got a packed lineup. Joining me is Abs from the Good Morning Crypto, plus a surprise special guest from Jay Kaskaran, CEO of Spend the Bits, a disruptive payments platform that figured out just how to move Bitcoin across the XRP ledger. Abs will be diving into all the stuff that really matters, like XRP ETFs, the huge announcements around Ripple's acquisition of Hidden Road, which I believe personally is signaling institutional adoption knocking on the door. Before we kick things off and turn things over to Abs, the greatest host of any show, please check out Merlin, the crypto app revolutionizing the way us investors track our crypto with any smartphone. The stage is packed, engines are revving. Let's uncover insights that could radically transform our crypto journey. But remember, none of this is financial advice. With that being said, let's kick things off. Abs, Jay, everyone in the room, how you doing today?
Well, I want to give a big special thank you to Jay for joining us tonight, guys. We got a bunch of exciting topics to talk about, and I'm seeing a lot of fear. I was in some other Twitter spaces beforehand, some other interesting conversations, and it seems like people are terrified about the China tariff news. We're going to take a different approach tonight, guys. We're going to talk about long-term adoption, and we got plenty of updates, whether it's an ETF, whether it's tokenized assets, whether it's stablecoin regulation. We can put a positive spin on all these things in the long run. So I'm really excited. I do want to give a special thank you to Jay for making time for us tonight. Jay, we haven't had the chance to speak yet, so I guess it's a pleasure to meet you. How are you feeling tonight, and what's on your mind before we dive into some of our topics?
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me. Yeah, looking forward for the conversation. It's evening at my time, so I'm having, sipping beer and, talking to you guys.
Nice. So let's get this thing started on a strong note. You can send Bitcoin across the XRP ledger. explain why you came up with that concept, how you came up with that concept, and how you've already implemented it on the XRPL.
Yeah. So this goes back way beyond, I think before 2019, one of my Maxi friend introduced me to Bitcoin in 2016. We was planning to put on a rig, just to mine Bitcoin. Things didn't, pan out well. 2019, Alberta was hit, with the huge recession just before the COVID recession was already going on. And I was looking, let me. I reached out to my friend. He said he's still into Bitcoin, not going away. I said, okay, let me, check it out. What's going on? So I started trading Bitcoin around 2019, and when I was trading, every time I had to deposit or withdraw, it takes hours, to get your Bitcoin. And I was always thinking, where the hell is my Bitcoin? So, started, reading about this, read the white paper, what Satoshi Nakamoto wrote. And then, started doing reading into Lightning, XRPL, Cardano, all of that, and then finally choose XRP all over everything else. And we did a small POC, which was successful around, I think, 2020. We was live with just Bitcoin payment. But that was the, just first POC that we did for Bitcoin. We have progressed so much after that. We have grown so much, after that. So yes, that was my journey, to begin with Bitcoin.
What's interesting about what you said is that I've been fortunate enough to interview Austin King before, who's a developer on the XRP ledger as well. And so I'd like to actually hear what you think the long-term vision is for the XRP ledger. Is it about tokenizing assets? Is it about bringing things like Bitcoin onto the ledger? What are some of the things that like a regular person may not be aware of from a developer's perspective?
Yeah, very good question, and many people may not like my answer, but I'm going to be honest. On XRP ledger, you can do multiple things, right? Basically, if you heard the terminology, RWA, real world asset tokenization, you can do all of it. The problem comes with the price of XRP going up. That's actually is not a problem for XRP holders. They are eyeing for to have some profit out of XRP. But as a developer, I need to look at what is my user base and how does it affects, because when I started, it was a 20 XRP requirement, just to activate a wallet. I think they drilled down to 10 now. I'm not sure what's the the reserve limit, but not only that, just to add on into, let's say, USDT, you want to tokenize USDT on the ledger, USDC, the opportunities are endless. The problem comes in, the asset of the price is going up because there would be a lot of institution looking over it. So if you are a developer looking for this, you should only work on the on the ledger if you are a B2B player. If you are looking something along the lines like we announced the app that is a retail facing app, you may want to consider maybe Flare just near near the XRPL ecosystem, which can not can, but which is interoperable with the you can move XRP out of to Flare or to back to the XRP ledger. So now along the lines you should think, because every wallet activation may cost you money, so that's a budgetary constraint. But apart from that, I don't have anything bad for XRP. That's the only thing that I vouch for people, because you may not want to get surprised at the end of the moment when you're going live that okay, now I need $20-30, because my use case is payment related, right? So not many people are into payment related use case. When you are into the payment industry, you may know there is a over regulation. This is a over regulated area. Apart from activation, there is a KYC cost, there is a KYB cost, there is a shitload of other things that come into play, right? So that's the only thing. But other than else, I love the XRP ledger. We are still live on XRP ledger with the classic app. We are live on the Flare network as well. So that's pretty much it.
So you said a bunch of great things there, and I want to focus on what you believe for the long term when it comes to tokenizing assets. But what we got for a couple of big news articles for today. So obviously Ripple had their partnership or their acquisition announcement for Hidden Road, and they do over $3 trillion annually for 300 of the top fintech companies, financial institution companies they're now going to be tapping into XRP and the XRP ledger. So we're going to have this huge new use case coming into the market that wasn't possible in America just a couple of months ago. We also had the first XRP ETF go live. And although I believe we're probably 6, 8, 10 months away from real adoption with an ETF, there's 17 different applications currently sitting at the SEC. And so to me, I've been in this space just as long as you have, 2019, follow the XRP ledger updates almost on a daily basis, if not multiple times a day. And what I've realized that over the past 6 months or so, we've moved from a speculation environment where we had the case, we had Gary Gensler as a commissioner, we had developers and companies telling us they couldn't even come into the United States and register because we didn't have the correct paperwork. Now we're in a situation where the sitting president is working with real developers on the XRPL. The sky is the limit, whether it's like tokenizing treasuries or it's tokenizing bonds or it's doing what you're doing, like implementing better payment strategies by leveraging the ledger. Me personally, as somebody who's been here for the better half a decade, just like yourself, I'm excited. I feel like we're in a new era. So what are some of your thoughts, like macroeconomically, with all the uncertainty? We're talking tariffs and things like that. Some of your thoughts on the XRP ledger in the long run. Are you more optimistic than ever? What is your outlook as a developer?
I'm bullish on XRPL because just because IVA stopped doesn't mean Ripple is stopping anyway necessary. They are growing tremendously, right? So they are acquiring companies. They are making use case legit. See, the very first problem is the case that was put together by Gary Gensler. By the way, we was also as a Mikai in that case because we didn't take any permission per se from Ripple, and we proved that and I think judge was very convinced that there are other players that will get affected by this case. So she sets a precedent straight that XRP by itself is not a security. So that's a major relief. But on a long-term basis, I'm super bullish on this on the XRP ledger because it can solve so many problems. Not everything is retail related. So my sentiment are retail related because I have a product line that I need to take care. But overall, I'm super bullish on the XRPL.
I am as well. And, it's not just the XRPL. It really is just digital assets as a whole. The biggest difference I feel this time around is people are really talking about use cases, guys. But I did want to give another thank you to Jay. We're about 11 minutes into this. This space is sponsored by Merlin, the smartest way to track your crypto. If you're unfamiliar, we're a crypto aggregate. We help you create an exit plan and we help you profit during these turbulent times, guys. So check it out at merlincrypto.com. 30 days completely free. Ray, I wanted to kick it back to you for some thoughts. If you had a question for Jay or some of your thoughts about today, floor is yours.
You know what? It is been a whirlwind of a day. Abs, thank you for giving me the opportunity to chat because it's been I've been hearing on both sides of the house, like you mentioned earlier, a lot of fear, but then also on the other flip of the coin, a lot of bullish sentiment. So it's for me having so many inputs, it's always can always flood the consensus with data. And what I mean is, we've got the Ripple, obviously Ripple developments. Does this pave way for their pathway to the public markets? A little birdie told me that there was a conference that they're attending, of which they have a presence in, and some of the marketing materials identified Ripple Roadshow. Those were the words on the marketing material, and so for me, I'm more focused on what's going on the private equity side of the house. So that's really what's been catching my interest. And so for those who may not to give a shameless plug, but I interviewed another developer today as well. Abs, his name is Matt Rosenden, a former Ripple developer, also former colleague at Link2. So it was just we're thinking ultimately it could Circle lead the charge, and all this is because of the stablecoin regulations which are coming down the pike. So what's gonna drive any type of activity is going to be law, and so that's what I believe everyone's really waiting for. But at the end, on the but really, it doesn't seem like it. Ripple ain't waiting for anybody right now. They're as mentioned earlier, just completed one of the largest acquisitions in the digital asset space to date. So I think you even made this post earlier today, Abs, about just the acquisition of or the what was the word I'm thinking of, the consolidation is what I was looking for. Consolidation of the market, and like we saw in the last cycle. I mean, Ripple's a dominant player, I think previously through the last cycle was Medico, and who else did they acquire previously?
Standard
Uh,
Charter, right?
yes, thank you. Standard Charter. That's correct. So, which is another interesting interesting discussion, but that's where what's top of mind for me. So thank you, Abs. But now to direct some questions, having Jay on the line, it's interesting for me, Jay. What caught my attention with you and Spend the Bits was the passion that I saw also behind one of your backers or supporters. I hope you don't mind, but I believe that's Mr. John Deaton, the White Knight of the XRP community. So
That's
it's
correct.
it. So what really piques my interest is always catching wind of the passion and the strong conviction that John has about you as a leader and the product which you've developed. And so I'm more interested on hearing about your relationship with John Deaton and maybe uh, some type of I don't know if there was like a aha moment, but I'd like to. What is so impactful about Spend the Bits that makes it stand out amongst its competitors, especially within a market that's just becoming so saturated as of late?
Yeah, thank you for that's a great question. I'll circle back to John. I still have, I'm looking at the John book. It's in front of me. Every day I start my day by looking at his book. John is everything for me. John is everything. He's been there. We started chatting around. Once when Ripple was sued by the SEC. We were just chit chatting. He was looking for the legitimate player who are building in the space. At that time, he doesn't know anything about me or my background. I think around that time I was working with Swift. I was implementing ISO 200, this protocol everybody is hyped about. So we chatted, I think, around 2019, 2020, and so, after a year and a half, we were so comfortable with each other. I was sharing so many stuff. My future plans, because under the hood, Spend the Bits is just not a one app. We have multiple pillars underneath it. So we have a retail app which can do a Bitcoin stablecoin payments, and then if you want to off ramp it, we just signed a deal with Mastercard where you can spend your USDC anywhere Mastercard is accepted all over the globe. Then we have merchant portal which can help SMEs to accept digital payments, and that is not something limited to Bitcoin or USDC. You can accept cash, sorry, not cash, fiat. That's a correct terminology. Or any asset per se. We are a chain where we are a platform where we can connect to any chain within a day. So that's not a problem for us to to scale this product. And the third product we built was the CBDC product, which where we won 2 hackathons back to back, 2022, 2023. And that really helped us actually started making revenue, because at that time Bitcoin was nonce and people was really not comfortable with spending their Bitcoin, because they may out at 50,000, but the price was really fluctuating, right? So we have now a third product line, which is kind of a parallel system to the Swift system. It's called stablecoin messaging system, which we sell it to institutions. Just like Ripple has their ODL thing, which is a totally different thing, but this is more related to the Swift system that I had experience working on. And yeah, so by 2021 or two, John started telling me that he has interest in Spend the Bits, what I'm doing. He can see in a long term a viable business, because at that time the space was new. And then we started talking, and ultimately I took a decision that okay, I'll take you in. And so far, journey has been very, very blessed because of John. And we have been getting a tremendous community support because of John. I met and other people as well, in the space. So yeah, so for me, John is everything. I look over him. We talk every other day, or maybe twice a week. To make a plan for go forward, because this space is changing every day. Previous to Trump joining the office, the space was totally different. It was going towards more chaos than to harmony. Right now is all harmony. I can see Trump is working rigorously for stablecoin will, the Genius Act will. All of that will give us a lot of superpower and make our business legitimate, because in between, many people doesn't know crypto companies like Spendabits and like Custodia Bank. They are a bank itself, we are a fintech itself, but we lost banking access just because we were in crypto, right? So that angle also will be going away. I can see by the time this legislation become law, there's a tremendous opportunity that await for Spendabits.
Awesome. I appreciate you diving in and peeling back the layers of your, I would say, really it's a wholehearted relationship. I could having seen you speak at XRP Las Vegas. I believe, was it both years, Jay? But
Yeah,
both years at XRP Las Vegas, plus at the XDC conference, which John had a presence at and spoke, and also gave you the warm introduction before coming up on stage. So it was just always something that piqued my curiosity, and it's like you mentioned, John is an incredible man with a big heart. So to see that he's supporting you only identifies that you are you're a team player, just like John is. And so I think you're focused on what really matters, not about what's in it for Jay. It's about what's in it for the community, and that's kind of
exactly,
what I,
exactly. You see, that's the very reason we didn't launch any STB coin. Nothing to go against any people who launch coin. It's just we didn't find any value proposition to do it. Maybe in the future we'll do, but anything we'll do, we always think about community first, how it's going to impact the community, how it will make other people life easier by using our platform. That is the goal.
Now you mentioned real quick. I hope you don't mind, Abs. I want to just hijack this for one more question. Jay, I believe, my recollection serves me, you had made some significant partnerships with the Flare network. I believe you brought this. You talked about Flare briefly earlier on in today's discussion. Can you discuss how impactful your partnership with Flare is for the course of interoperability, for the sake of, I mean, for me, with being a XRP member myself for quite some time, I was fortunate to receive an airdrop from Flare, so because of the snapshot
Yeah.
from a few years ago. So for me, it's always, there was an affinity. I always believe, between Flare and XRP. What do you believe? Is what are your 2 cents on that topic, if any, and your relationship with Flare? What's going on with that ecosystem, and because of your partnership, what's going on with interoperability?
Yeah. So, Flare, we haven't done much of the stuff yet, but I'm eyeing on it. I'll explain it to you what I'm meaning by that. So we just have right now tokenized Bitcoin asset class and USDC on Flare, just to have people move around the money, and from any chain to any chain. We have also built CCTP protocol, is cross chain transfer protocol with the help of Circle. With Flare, I'm eyeing on to open DeFi capabilities. I'm just waiting on the app to be available global, because I'm done getting grilled. I don't exist, or we don't have an app or something like that. We are growing, and then Mastercard approval is on the way. They have already beta approved us. So with that, we'll be eyeing on going global, right? So once we are on a global scale, where his app is accessible, that really opens up the second point that I'm going to mention is DeFi capability using Flare, right? So with Flare, you can do FXRP staking. I think I heard Hugo was speaking earlier, but I didn't get a chance to join the space. But yeah, so the idea is to give user DeFi capabilities on their Bitcoin, on their XRP, and on their stable coin, so that it open up the space for the user. It's directly P2P relationship or P2B relationship, where a protocol is giving you staking rewards out of it, rather than being an intermediary player. So this is the biggest value proposition, along with the FBTC. And then I just heard, I think last month, that they are also going to introduce something related to protocol, managed wallet. What that means is, if you open up XRP wallet today, I think all the addresses start from R, right? Let's say you want to generate Bitcoin address on XRPL, as that's not possible. This is something Flare is going to give us the option. Doesn't matter which chain you have. Let's say you have Bitcoin, you have XRP, or any other coin, Cardano, which you are a holder of, or you want to utilize this. There would be native support for that on the chain. That's a game changer, because that is the only thing that we are using as a custodian partner, which is BitGo. That whenever you deposit your BitGo, it goes to the custodial layer, which is not bad. It's, just add some credibility into it, and we are all about the credibility. But if something we can alleviate by using this protocol, that's a game changer for everyone involved, because you are now directly interacting with the protocol, getting your rewards or getting your asset logged in the protocol itself. And it's because of that, there cannot be a rug pull, there cannot be anyone who can take away your money, except the hack, because no software is immune to the hack. So as long as that is intact, I don't see any problem. And the other thing would be, what will happen if you lose your keys on Spend the Bits. We have, I think, multiple cases in the XRP community where they lose the keys, just because the asset was stored in the third party custodian. We was able to recover the funds for them, but I'm not sure what will happen in that case when you lose the keys. Now we have implemented one more functionality in the Spend the Bits app, is even if you lose the keys, you will still be able to recover your funds, as long as you do not delete the app. So we have implemented that, all of that thing. So on Flare, is everything to to enhancing utility for all the other ecosystem player, XRP, Cardano, or Bitcoin per se, or Ethereum per se. So Flare, I see as a more like a akin to XRPL, but having more capabilities, smart contracts, Turing complete, and all of that.
Thank you for that, Jay. Appreciate it. When thinking about your application and with the developments that occurred today with Ripple and the acquisition of Hidden Road, they were talking about how that opens up the possibilities of using RLUSD as a collateral for those for their clients, or that network. Now, with your application being retail facing for Spendabits, is that why your rails are geared for USDC, or can you at any moment add on RLUSD?
Amazing question. Amazing question. So not only we have one app, we have two apps, just because of this reason, because I didn't want it to go away from the XRPL, because we started from the XRPL. So on the XRPL, the app called STB Classic, the Flare app is called Spend the Bits. So on the XRPL Classic, you can still download it. And then if you want to add the RLUSD, it's just a one-day job for us to enable this. But the problem does not goes away, even if the pigeon closed their eyes just because they saw the cat. The cat is still there. So the problem is not to adding more asset on the XRPL. The problem is every time XRP price appreciate and there is a reserve mechanism for it, you will not get to a point where you can fairly say, okay, I can onboard 5 to 10 million folks on the XRPL app. Until that happen, I don't see the RLUSDC retail use case can prove out, but I may be wrong. The moment this reserve goes away, there would be a lot of people building RLUSD stablecoin solution on top of it. We need this kind of solution. I really like the idea of having RLUSD. it's a liquid, and then if Ripple can provide on ramp and off ramp, that will take away the problem developer like me facing for on ramping and off on ramping and having to rely on the banks, right? We can directly work with Ripple on this, but the pain point comes in the reserve. Not many people are fortunate enough to, for example, in El Salvador, 20 people put a food on for the entire family on the table, right? So you should think about everybody else as well. So I hope my message will get out, and then on the validators, they will lower down the amount to activate the wallet. But once this happen, you can see tremendous amount of developer working on the ledger. That is the only thing I think that is halting right now, from a Ethereum versus XRPL point of view. That why we don't have much of a traction from the developer is because of this, because there is a reserve requirement. Every time you have to activate the wallet, that really adds up a problem. When you're scaling your solution in the market.
Can you remind me what is the unit price in XRP to create a new wallet? Is it 15? Is it 15 XRP?
No, when I started, it was 20. Now it was.
Isn't it 2?
It was. I think last year it was voted down to 10. But that's not the only problem, right? So 10 XRP for wallet activation and 2 for any asset you add on. So imagine if you have a multi-currency app, just like SpendaBits, you are supporting Euro, you are supporting USD, you are supporting Canadian dollar, or you are tokenized, USDC, USDT, or let's say 5 more assets. So each trust line get you 2 more XRP to lock down into the reserve. So in total, it will become 20 if you are just supporting five assets. So 10 for the reserve and 2 for each asset type you want to tokenize on the ledger.
Got it. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So earlier you had referenced that you had worked on the ISO upgrades at Ripple.
Yeah.
Can you speak to that a little bit?
Not on the Ripple, with the Swift directly. So I was working with one of the local bank here, with the Bank of Canada, and I was enrolled in the ISO 2002 implementation. That is a Swift MT standard to MX standard. So from MT 103 or 202 cover to PAX 9 cover, PAX 08. I'm not sure how many people are aware of it, but I was the one who was heavily involved in that project.
So when do you think these things are going to become important for people like us to understand? Because what we've talked about for a long time is mandates and specific dates in 2026 or late 2025 where we have an ISO upgrade type system. How many of these banks are really ready to onboard into something like that?
When I was working, I think there was 108 banks that was doing this upgrade, but there are more than 5,000 banks that still have to update. That's the reason it's getting delayed, because one country may be ready, but other country may not be. Ultimately, the mandate from Swift is to retire MT standards by 2026. So next year around November, they have to retire the MT. And everybody has to be, every bank has to be on MX standard. So that is the deadline, when I started this project back in the days.
Where do you anticipate SpendaBits to be at that time?
So we are growing rapidly with the stablecoin messaging system. So just like we have a Swift messaging system, we have created a software stack for stablecoin messaging system, which can interact with MT and MX, because I have the experience to build it. So I build it that way. So you get the benefit of the blockchain, but you can also be able to interact with the Web3. So it's kind of a Web2 or Web3. You really don't care if you're an institution. We have the solution for you to move the money around globally, just in 3 to 5 seconds. One more thing I forgot to tell. Have you guys heard about Tiger Beetle? Anyone?
No.
Okay. So Tiger Beetle is a protocol where you can do 1 million transaction per second. It's very easy to say 1 million transaction per second, but very hard to accomplish. So we have implemented that thing for our institution client. If you want to scale your product and you want to build a banking relationship with your customer, your payment should be just a blink of an eye. You should be able to settle it. So we have implemented that Tiger Beetle stack. You can look it up. I was fortunate enough to get a introduction done by Interledger protocol. So we have implemented that as a part of our institution software, software as well. That is powered by Tiger Beetle and Web2's kind of a stack, but it can connect to any L1, L2, L3 chain. Just blink of AI. So there's endless opportunities with that product that we are pushing to the institutions.
Tiger Beetle sounds like a Pokemon card, Jay. I'm not gonna lie. But
yeah, so I think I'm not sure where the terminology comes from that, but the tech stack is very, very heavy and very, very good. And the team is awesome to work with. So we implemented that thing. I really get a chance to give them a shout out. But our customers are very happy. Institution customers are very happy because they said, Jay, it just happened like a blink of AI. I said that's the whole point of implementing this this protocol, that it's built on a Web3 consensus model, but work like in a Web2 model. So just to put this thing into a perspective.
Jay, are you going to be speaking at XRP Las Vegas 2025? And also, understanding you're from or you're based in Canada, are you going to be going to is it Consensus in Toronto?
Yeah, not this year. Actually, I'm recovering from. Not many people know. So I had to undergo some of the stuff that I was going through sciatica. So
you got bit. You got bit by a tiger beetle.
No, I wish. No, I went through sciatica pain. I got myself treated in the month of November, December. I think I missed the opportunity to talk with Brad Kimes, who I respect. So I think not this year, maybe next year. You'll see me there.
You'll be there in spirit.
Yeah. Spirit is by default, right? So this is not a work thing for me. This is a passion for me. All of this is a passion.
I love to hear that, Jay. And taking a little step further, which we haven't even touched on, is not only are you deeply entrenched in the digital asset ecosystem, but you're also a leader or a pioneer in the AI sector as well, building out numerous and impactful AI agents that specialize in various domains, from marketing to private equity to whatever you tune the LLM to. So kudos to you. I know that we've already taken much of your time. Before we wrap things up, maybe we can talk about real briefly, touch on the future intersection of blockchain and AI. Some say that digital assets were created for or are the currency for AI to leverage. That AI or crypto is the laws for crypto or money need to be paved before the regulations for the actual AI infrastructure is to come about. Does that make sense? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so thank you for pointing this out. So not many people know there is an upcoming startup that is coming out very, very soon. It's called Creation X. So what that means is when AI was introduced to the wider audience, it was at the promise that hey, it will help you with day-to-day basis, and with all the tasks that you do. But along the lines we went into, again, from non-technical things to technical things, by meaning that you have to build your agent by coding it, all of that. So all of that pain we are taking away. So you just with a prompt, with a single line of layman language requirement, you will be able to mint a high class agent which will do numerous things for you. That is coming. And by the way, John is a co-founder in that venture with me. That is just a goodwill gesture that I bring him over. I always wanted to do stuff with him. So that is something on the horizon, that you'll be able to do many things with the AI without typing any kind of code. In fact, your agent will get the stuff done for you. Regarding your second question, blockchain and AI, I think if we put AI on the blockchain, that's like some person on the steroid. So it's gonna super amp the powers, you leveraging the blockchain system, because blockchain doesn't understand jurisdiction. So it can flow through all of the blockchain wherever you are. Plus, if you introduce interoperability into it, that's another game changer you're talking about. So working along the lines, we name the new startup as Creation X, because you can create anything out of it. We have the, I think, super agent model that can get stuff, and people on a daily basis. Not many people knows that I have, apart from Spend the Bits, I have launched I think more than 100 apps in OpenAI GPT store, and then out of that, I think 20 or 30 agents are so popular that on a daily basis there are thousand of people are using them on a daily basis. Some of them are filing taxes, being as a crypto accountant. Some are doing marketing, some are doing niche stuff, very very niche stuff, which I was able to get it done with the help of AI.
Thank you for that, Jay. I did notice the amount of individuals using your marketing GPT bot that you created and benevolently let me use, and it's just radically transformed the approach of uh, creating impactful marketing. Now, hey, Abs, before we wind things down here, anything top of mind for you, sir? I know that you've been you, and congratulations to you. I did tune into GMC's production this morning. You had over 18,000 people tune in all at one time. So kudos to you. It was great to see Mario hop in at that last little uptick. So anything that you guys discussed during your production earlier today that you think is worth sharing with those in the audience on this X Space?
Well, first of all, I want to give a shout out to everybody who listened, because those numbers are exciting. And I say this all the time, Ray. We're building the best community in crypto, and it's a reflection of the people who are listening. It has nothing to do with me as a person. But what I like and what gets me so excited is there's so much pessimism in the market right now. It's easy to be a contrarian. It's easy to be excited. It's easy to lean into the long-term adoption, the regulation, and the fact that these markets work in cycles. Jay probably understands from a fundamental level that these companies are ready to move into the digital asset space. There's just a couple of hurdles, right? There's regulation, there's implementation, and then there's mass adoption. So I really believe we're about 6, 7, 8 years away from these products being launched at scale. But that doesn't mean that people aren't going to have an opportunity to make a ton of money here in 2025. And I also think this, Ray, people are underestimating the 4-year impact of a Trump administration. If companies for the next 4 years, 25, 26, 27, and 28, can come into the United States and operate not only next to regulators, but working with the biggest companies in our economy. I mean, this space is $2.5 trillion. The S&P this morning opened and moved 2 trillion. So that's how small we are from a real world value perspective. So that's just my take. So shout out to everybody who's here. Thank you for being persistent, standing by your convictions. I think that the people who are able to withstand the volatility that we're going through today, those are the people who are going to be celebrating for years to come. But we just have to make it through this era of uncertainty, right? We're in a macroeconomic issue. Tariffs are affecting the crypto market. And once this thing is resolved, I mean, there's nothing but blue skies ahead, Ray. So that's genuinely how I feel. And that's just what I share every day on the show. So big thank you to Jay. Big thank you to Ray. And shout out to every single person who listened tonight. I wish you all an amazing night. So thank you so much.
I love that optimism, Abs. It's exciting and great to hear. We're gonna be rich, but we're gonna be bald by the time we get there.
Maybe both.
Jay, thank you for joining us today. Any last closing thoughts before we let you go? And before we do, before I lose this thought, I wish you a speedy recovery. Hopefully, your sciatica pain is you're on the mend.
Yeah, by I think God has really looked over me, and I think I'm recovering very well. The pain has gone away. It was continuous pain, 24/7. But just to backtrack, coming back to the topic, I think people are really, really underestimating Trump administration, and that is correct. Being a developer, being a crypto business, I look upon Trump for policies. And if we can take away our pain, that will give us a level playing field, to compete against the bigger player. because end of the day is the technology stack. But if the technology isn't being used as a mass scale, there's no, there's no point of having the software in the first place, right? So I think from implementation point of view, we are there, but adoption and the policy has to catch up. Policy will catch up, and then ultimately the adoption will come.
It's so true. I was reading a LinkedIn post of a gentleman named Kirk Chapman, I believe his last name. He's a developer for Greg Kidd and the Hard Yaka community. Also a former CEO or advisor for the CEO of SoFi. So that I follow him. I met him in Las Vegas at a Ripple Uphold co-hosted event just before meeting Greg Kidd. But what Kirk was talking about was it's if for him having some involvement with the creation of, I believe, their stablecoin USBC, US benchmark coin, which is available on Uphold, which is also issued through Vast Bank, which Greg mentioned would be potentially the first quote unquote FDIC backed stablecoin. So it's really interesting to hear the convergence of TradFi and DeFi come together, and having the legacy system actually, sit behind or behind some of these new forward-thinking ventures, disruptive ventures. But where I'm getting at long-winded, and I apologize, Kirk mentioned it's not the technology that's going to be the hurdle for the mainstream adoption of these new payment rails or stable coins. It's the legacy market participants that are not have no motivations to adopt these
Correct.
new systems, which ultimately would be detrimental to their profits. And so getting to a place where essentially the incumbents, I don't want to say take a knee, but become more conducive and adopt these new rails. It's kind of like we're stuck. So I think it's kind of interesting where we're all waiting for these regulations, because that's what's going to drive, as mentioned, I think will drive the mass adoption. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
just to add into that, even with the MT standard or the MX standard, things moving within the bank, things moving really really fast. It's almost real time, but you will never know, because banks makes money on on these things, because if you have to wait for 2-3 days to your wire to appear, that's what, there's money to be made on every arbitrage opportunity they get, along with the FX fees they charge you.
well said, well said. Jay, it's been a privilege hopping into this space with you. We need to get some of those bots over to Abs's way, so I hope you don't mind. I'll connect you guys on the back end, so we can juice up that beautiful beard of Abs on the Good Morning Crypto show. Next show, he's gonna have 36,000 live audience members. But it's been a really great and interesting chat. Thank you all for joining. Uh, I didn't see any hands raised, so we'll just conclude this here. But I've got to just give massive props to our brilliant speakers who drop knowledge bombs all evening long. Make sure you give them a follow. Abs, Jay, thank you very much for stopping by and sharing your wisdom, expertise, and thought provoking conversation. If you, again, for those in the audience, if you haven't already, smash the follow button for Merlin. Merlin is your trusted application that offers one secure web app for all your wallets and exchanges, smart exit strategies so you never miss the perfect selling moment. Don't get caught with that rubber neck that Johnny Crypto typically talks about. Unfortunately, couldn't make it today, but he's always here in spirit. And then also, Merlin's always dropping fresh features regularly. For those of you who are new to the community, Merlin's referral program is live. Share your link and get your friends on board as paid subscribers, and boom, you're getting a free month of that Merlin magic. Catch Merlin across all major socials, right here on X at Get Merlin Crypto, on Instagram, that's at Merlin_crypto, LinkedIn, we're always keeping it professional, or dive straight into Merlin's website at merlincrypto.com. And now let's close this space with Merlin's catchy tune. Let me pull this thing up here. And until next time, family and friends, keep tracking smart with Merlin. And if you haven't started yet, Don't forget to start that 30-day trial. Love you mucho. It's been a wonderful Taco Tuesday. We've got Zach Humphreys in the house. Thanks for joining us last minute, Zach. Love you mucho. Leanne, see you in space. Always a pleasure. Love you mucho. Jay, you're so smart, sir. Again, thank you all for tuning in today. It's been a great day. I'm about to go hop into Cal State Fullerton's mentorship program and help some students. So had to wind this down. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jay, and thank you, Ray. Jay, I just shot you a follow, so I'll DM you, my friend. Nice talking to you.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, my fist is still pumping. Good stuff. All righty, guys. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Talk soon. See you in a couple weeks. Love you mucho.
Thank you for tuning in to the Merlin Crypto Market Update located on the X app. I'm Abs, your host and Senior Engagement Officer at Merlin, and we hope you enjoyed this episode from our Merlin X Spaces. Remember, you can catch us live every other Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on the X app at Get Merlin Crypto. If you want to take your crypto tracking to the next level, don't miss out on our free 30-day trial at merlincrypto.com. Thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode.